Yeah! To the guy who keeps telling me that I'm bald once every couple days, look, this is my hair. Look, normal hair, normal hairline, normal hairline, normal hair, not bald, hair on my head. So there you go. I'm not bald. And welcome to this DEFCON 2 2v2 Warno game played between chesK and Artakwa, and I believe their team name is the Berlin Bros. And they're up against Wretched, Goober, and Make Arty Not Friends, two guys who've changed their names contrary to the rules. They signed up with different names to what they're playing with. So you know from the fact that they've changed their names that they're still Division 2 players. So this is Yamin and some other guy that I don't know. And I think the other guy I don't know is Make Arty Not Friends, and Yamin's the guy who's changed his name even between the last match of theirs that we cast. He's changed it again. That's how you know that they're a serial Steel Division 2 player. So their team name is Yamin Your Shed, changing your name. So we're on tension today, and they've set the map to as dark as possible, it seems. Very, very dark map here. And we got 5 easy in 82nd versus 27Y in 4th. 27Y in 4th is a very common pick, simply because of the way the picks and bans work. One team gets to pick and do the bans, and so the other team ends up with 6 divs banned because you can't play the divs the other team's playing. So they're a lot of times they're forced onto Pact. Pact does have some advantages, namely rocket artillery spam, which these two divs do quite well. So, looking at the NATO, I really just can't see anything. There's too much sunlight. I need to, there we go. Looks a little bit better now that I've darkened my screen a bit. So, we got 5 easy. Trying to work out where they've done stuff. So, we got 2 helicopters here, a Heavy Hog and a Cobra. They cost the same, so I'm not sure why he's decided to bring one of each rather than 2 of one or 2 of the other. I'm not sure. Do let me know if you're watching this, Artakwa. And we've got some Sublindes going Juliet, Foxtrot. They're not actually going that far, although if you get them on the road, they can shoot people. I'm surprised they're not going all the way up here, to be honest. They're really playing quite conservatively, given that this is the middle of the map. And then we got 5E on the left, so Juliet, Foxtrot, and a bit of 5e on the right. Yeah, with the Milans. But generally, seems that blue are just leaving this, and they're going hard with the airborne on Echo, and then 5e on Juliet Foxtrot. Switching to their opponent's deployment, we got Yamin and friend of Yamin. I really wish they wouldn't constantly change their names. There's a rule in the SDL tournaments about that because these guys are so prolific at changing their names. But they do it because it gives them an advantage in ranked games because you don't know who you're playing against. For tournament games, doesn't really make any sense because you know who you're playing against. Just makes it harder for the caster. And then they say things like, "Are you going to cast my game?" You made my game members only. Can you send me a copy of the game? I wasn't playing under my own name though. So we got the 4th player is doing the forward deployment for all the divs, all the spaces, and then the 27Y player Goober is unloading here to help out in Delta, and the 27Y player has also taken Bravo. There's quite a few units in Bravo, given that these guys are just defending. There's a small overinvestment here, but you can't know, right? And this makes a lot of sense, having the heavy guy in the more open plane. So I would do this the other way around. I think the way these guys have done it is better, because this is the tank division, so it's better in the open. So you want that to, because obviously you can't see anything on this map, but these are trees here. I know it just looks like some kind of graveyard because they've set the ambience to such a dark one. But yeah, I guess they really didn't want me to cast this game. So this is open field, so this is where you want your tank division. right? Whereas this tank division's sort of hemmed in here. There's a few fields here, but it's mainly infantry. We'll see how it goes. This is probably going to be the highest level game in their group. This is quite an easy group compared to mine, at least. I had the hardest group. Don't ask people from other groups, they'll probably tell you that they had the hardest group. So we got a fob here, so I expect to see lots of rocket artillery raining on these towns. And it'll be interesting to see how the fourth player deals with what is essentially a 2v1 at the start. And yeah, we'll cast the game. We'll do it from this perspective because these guys don't change their names, so I want them to win. Right, so they're off, and it's time to thank the generous channel joiners. I'm trying to cast as many of these games as possible, even if the players make it as hard for me as possible. And basically that means I have to release 2 to 3 videos a day for the next couple of weeks, which is tanking my YouTube algorithm. It's making the videos do worse in terms of YouTube recommendations, but I don't have to worry about that because the channel memberships account for twice the revenue as I get from ads. And yeah, these Mirages are just going to kill this. He didn't land it in time. And that scout also goes down to a Strela. These guys can survive 2 shots each. Well, okay, they can survive 1 shot, the second shot will kill them. So this guy's been hit and now he needs to move it back immediately because this reloads quite quickly. And helicopters are very, very unmaneuverable. They don't go backwards like they do in real life. Oof, will he get lucky again? He does not. So just too slow there from Artakwa, losing a helo there. She didn't have to lose. But they burst down this. The transports died here, but I think the guys got out because the Sublindes were in too defensive a position. And yeah, so now now these guys are in a world of hurt because the airborne's coming in, and once they're in, they're very difficult to get out. I'm noticing a lack of CVs. But Blue on the lead, and Yamin here, Wretched Goober, too busy thinking about his next name to play the game. His guys are too far behind here. We saw that they were in the buildings for a bit. Grad purchase to start leveling off the airborne. It's gonna hit 2 or 3 squads, and yeah, these guys still reversing. He needs some shooting really, so I'm not sure about that. Yamin just letting his mate die. Like that, why isn't this firing? I guess he's bringing it around here, but it was doing all right there. And the other thing is that, of course, you want it to be in NSBT range, but then you'll be in Dragon 2 range. So the swings and roundabouts, really. The BMP-3 is decent against infantry because it essentially fires 2 guns at once. This 100mm HE cannon and the auto cannon. This guy might get side shot here. He does not because this man is on low cohesion. And the grads are coming in, and an RM-70 is coming in, so this is pretty effective counter-attacking from the boys in red. MiG-29 gets tagged by the Eagle, that'll have to evac. And there's a lot of ASFs here. They're trying to bring the LGBT in for the T-80, so I guess that's why he's keeping it so far back. He's worried about he's worried a lot about about this, which is now happening, and I don't think it'll kill it. I don't think it'll kill it. There you go, and it goes down. So that was really, really greedy from the Berlin Bros, neither of which are on a German division. But yeah, Sublinde here has taken, so the Sublinde has 4 armor, whereas the regular race car has 3. So a Metis will one-shot the regular race car. Looks like they're splitting their volleys fairly effectively here. Make arty not friends is definitely making some arty. So that Voltigeurs will go down to that. Jaguar HE on the FS Jaeger didn't seem to do much. I think it just missed. I'm not sure what's happening there. This Humvee is being shot at, or at least it was. But the BMP-3 is relocating. I think it would have been fine. If it was still there, it would have killed that CV. So I think the relocation, it looks really cool. Great positioning on this Metis, because it cuts the reinforcements. And now they're sending the car back, which means the Metis is coming for it. But it looks like he'll... Oh, there's another one here. Oh, just gets out of range there. And then we're now up to 3 MLRSs, and now 4, which I think is too much, really. You don't have enough stuff on the front lines. I would stick to 1 each for now. Build up more of your front lines, and then buy the next 2. But Blue aren't really doing that good a job of... well, okay, they're on a +4, so they are doing a decent job of attacking. Yeah, but this is a big problem, that they can't get across this field because of this Metis. It's a great Metis location. Bison bomber coming in here. This is a pretty decent bomber. Helicopter goes down to the Eagle because it was on this exposed flank, only covered by this cub and this Strela. Whereas if the helicopter was here, I think they'd have a better time of it because they'd be covered by lots more AA. So I think they put it in the wrong place there, but they're trying to stop a breakthrough here. But honestly, this is very, very, very greedy. Spending 1,000 points on rocket artillery 5 minutes into the game, less than 5. Like, they're not even all shooting. And blue just have so many more units on the front line. Look at this. They're making progress here. They really shouldn't be. Great play from chesK, trying to get these Vabs into positions where they can shoot. And generally, fire support is a lot more useful in cities in this game than it is in Red Dragon. Not only because you can view the LOS tool, so you can tell where to put it, but also just simply a change in the game design. The SD2 guys have managed to get in here because there was just nothing here. Cobra's been sent up, and that Igla's not going to be able to stop it itself, so they'd have to send a plane, but the Eagles are on standby. I really just think they should not have bought 4 grads and a CV for the grad. The RM70 is an upgraded grad, so we call it a grad on the Hippie YouTube channel. Oh, looks like they're going to get that Sublinde. He clumped up too much there, did chesK. Made a big mistake clumping up like that. He knows about the Mega Grads, and they've lost the 6, so what I really would have loved to have seen from blue team is a smoke, and you smoke here. Not only does it stop the metas from killing your reinforcements, you smoke about here, but it also means that they could have left this in here for a much longer period of time. But now it seems that red have managed to stabilize. They lost the guy in here. Here we go, here's the Mulder. Artakwa just wasn't paying attention there and loses that to the Mulder. The F-15s and the Mirages. So the air route is actually over here, which the air is coming in from over here, which means that this guy's going to make it, basically. That's why you always want to have a fighter loitering. Not only does it let you spot enemy fighters more easily, or from further away, but it also can make it easier to react to pushes in this location. So Goober here is doing a great job. He's probably going to make it in there. I believe one of those Mirages got hit by a Cub, so we're not going to be seeing it for quite a while now. That was a dumb evac route. He just pressed evac when they were over here, so they cycled round. He should have manually moved them, and he should have kept one loitering and evac the other one, if he wanted to evac in the first place. So the CV's gone here, and he's playing it safe, but chesK's position here is just getting hit by the RM70s. And to be honest, this is a really good map for RM70s. Right, so he's in. There's a couple trees here, and yeah, are these all shooting? Like they all seem to be firing pretty regularly there. So the CV sent back in. If this Zickerungs gets in this building, he'll be able to fire his stuff. LAV's going down there. They're proper expensive, so you don't want that. Here we go, the Eagle was ready this time, so the Eagle's definitely going to take out that MiG-29, particularly given that it got behind it. Dodges the Igla, which happens. And yeah, it's difficult attacking down here, particularly if you take this route, it just takes you ages. And I really do think that they shouldn't have bought 4 rocket artillery near the start of the game. Make arty, not friends. Oh no, this isn't Yamin, I think this is Yamin. He needs to help his mate out. He's got all these SPWs. He could just send them over here because they're still losing the game. And we've got lots of grads not firing. Like, this should be aiming right now, this should be aiming right now. And it's the point I'm trying to make here. For starters, you really shouldn't be diving the packed AA net like that. But the MiG-29 does go down. And the Seed, whoa. Let's try to see where that was going. Oh, it just survives. The Cub goes down to another Seed, so that was like 3 Seeds bought there. These are now aiming. Okay, so he sees the CV, and the ticker stopped. He's still getting hit by Metis. Gotta be careful, gotta be careful. And yeah, it's so another thing you can do, because he's using this to try and buff these up so that they aim faster. You see, they reload faster, so you see this is 100 seconds, whereas this is 132, which is substantial, but you want this to be covering as many of them as possible, so you want the grads to be kept together with the CV. so that it's not just buffing one, it's buffing them all. What I would really love to see from blue is an attempt to deal with this fob, because they must know there's a fob now. It's going to be kind of hard to find it, to get to it, because you'd have to come around one of the sides, and, you know, make Arty here has got this in a pretty good position to stop guys from getting around. But if they can find that fob, they can sort this out, and then no more rocket Arty. Another problem Red's going to have is that this is 4 rocket Arty off 1 fob, so it'll run out in about 10 minutes. If used at its maximum effectiveness, and then that's one of those things where buffing the reload of these is not actually that useful because you just burn it through your fob faster. But like, they're getting a bit greedy here, they're not even moving them. So some counter battery from 5E's got the Alpha 1, that's good counter battery. AT's probably going for that Strela, because the Eclairs can see it. So, yeah, just Goober not clearing out this Eclairs. They got hit by the rocket Arty before, but it's still there. And this Igla's getting lots of opportunities to shoot, finally hit something. So this man should really be evacing, but he wants that gas and he'll get it. And now he should definitely be evacing, because he's got no bullets. Blue's on the attack again, and it's because Red just don't have that many units here. There's plenty of units here. And there's more units coming here, but I think Make Arty needs to help out Goober a bit. So, Howitzer's purchased now, even more Arty. Good for point targets, but in this sort of situation, I don't think that's too useful actually, because you want to be grabbing those buildings. And chesK has swapped up to just attacking over here now. So this can be a really good spot for Conkers. Like, I'm not sure. That's decent, I guess, because it will shoot these. And fourth, like, he needs to be buying T-55s at this point. Where are the T-55s? Base T-55s trade really efficiently at close range versus other tanks, because they've got shells that scale with distance, and they've got really good armor. So their low pen is offset by the distance. So Eclair's down, that was over here. Rolands are on the front line, and this Mi-24, will it survive? I mean, this man is now getting hit by rocket Arty, stuns him up, which gives this guy time to land. Anti-tank gun just put on the road, smart, because that can now just start hitting things. Not sure what it's going for. Kind of looked like it's going for that VAB. I assume it's going for the Sublinde. Sublinde getting a bit lucky here. Okay, he's trying to trick it. So you can, that's the thing you can do in Red Dragon, where you stop the gun so it switches to the ATGM, and it makes them fire both at once, but I'm pretty sure they fixed that in Warno. Wow. So that's Sublinde. There we go, he's buying the T-55s. So Strela 10M goes down to LGBT. Eagle's defending. LGBT gets out. And this attack is just looking really bad for Red. He needs to have guys here, really. I think this is just not working. So he's aiming for that Eclairs again. I don't think he'll get it because it's on the corner and it's in a building, so it's pretty tanky. But Red are hemorrhaging ASFs. Red are hemorrhaging ASFs. We just saw an MLD die over here somewhere, and that wasn't the first one. So this is just like a really juicy target for some RM70ing. Mirage dive in. Oof. That shouldn't have been there. It was low. He should have just sent it back to the fob for repairs and brought it back. And that's quite an easy thing to do because you just right-click the fob and then right-click back and it'll sort it out for you. You don't have to worry about landing, taking off, stuff like that. Unless you put it in some trees, in which case it doesn't work properly. So, for some reason we got the CV on the front getting hammered while all his mates sit back here. Oh, no! Yeah, that was a LOS moment there. So now this is the last CV in this zone. And now there's no CV in this zone. 2 just died. This can be sent over, but you're seeing the rocket arty starting to pay off now. And Yamin, you know, he's going for Golf and he's going for Echo. This is a good map for rocket arty, I think. And 27Y in 4th is a pretty potent combination. We've seen it many, many times this tournament. So the airplay from blue is pretty good. And they are still in the lead. Eagle goes down there. I think that will have been this Strela maybe. But yeah, at the end of the day, these Strela M3s have 60% accuracy, they've got really good range, and they're not radar, so they can't be sneeded. So T-55's purchased now, and these will trade efficient. Like, there's not a single AT here. None of those guys have AT. But of course, Red don't know that, so they can't abuse it. And yeah, I think, honestly, I think we need a bit of coordination between the Red players. Like, Make Arty has done a great job. Actually, they're both here, so they are coordinating, but the strat is very interesting. I feel like they should just defend here and attack here, or the other way around, try and get a zone together, whereas they're both attacking 3 zones. You got these guys in this zone, these guys in this zone, and these guys in this zone. And as a result, they're getting no zones. And the same could be said of Blue. Like, Blue was attacking here when Artakwa was in this zone, chesK was attacking here. Whereas he should have been defending here and helping his mate out in this zone, keeping that zone capped, you know, getting your tank blob to here. Getting your tank blob to here. So it's easy for me to say from this perspective. Like, you'll have seen from my games versus Team Man that we're just so used to playing 1v1s that there's just not that much cohesion. There's just not that much teamwork. Whereas if you watch like my games with Lathans from 3 years ago, Lathans is really good at coordinating teams basically. So that was a 120-point Hellfire firing recon that just died in 1 hit to a Strela, and that's why I don't like bringing them. They've got 4 HP, they can just die in 1 hit. Particularly this guy. This guy's now max vet because he's killed something so expensive that he gains veterancy. So you see, this is only two vet. So we got Yamin saying help. Everybody's dead, but Blue can't really capitalize on this. So now Red want to attack over here. But yeah, 5E is pretty good in these town fights. Like, really quite good, because the autocannons on the tanks, and they get some nice big squads. They get these guys, 10 men, 25 points. On a tank division, they get reservist spam, which is it's the only one in the game at the moment. Yeah. So you got to go back straight away. But now he gets hit by the one over here. So the helicopter's not really working out. I mean, he sent some there before and they died, so I'm surprised he's using them. Like, wouldn't you want him over here, maybe? Get him over here. Obviously, we can see the AA situation, but if you die to something that's over there, you got to assume it's still there. Airborne Dragon just running across this open field, and neither team has bothered to use any smoke. Smoke can really help you. If you just smoke this up, you can get a CV in until the rocket arty comes, then you gotta go. And this still has, so this only has 4,000 supply now, which means so this Eagle's in a rough spot. No, never mind. Strela though, 60% accuracy. This guy has 40% ECM, but this thing's pretty crazy. Oh, it does miss. So yeah, it's just back and forth across the entire map. Makes for good watching, but I think if your team's got a plan, let's attack here. Let's both attack here, and let's wait 5 minutes to build up everything we need. And that's where teams with better micro can lose to teams with better team play. But yeah, the airplay from the Blue players is really good. Really good, particularly given that they're against such good AA, such a good AA net. They're doing pretty good work. And you see that Red can't really make ground into these autocannons. They're just getting beaten up. So now we've got SD2 saying, I want to go in there and smoke, but he's just wasted his smoke. And now he's realised he's not getting any smoke anymore. And this is where your smoke mortars come in, or even your howitzer if you want. Just smoke this, you'd get in. You would get in if you smoked this. But because they're SD2 players, they're used to smoke not being in the game. Because in SD2 you get like 12 smoke shells and 2 supply vehicles for the whole game. And I'm not exaggerating that. It's quite common to get 2 supply vehicles for the whole game, no fob. And smoke is like, you get like 12 rounds in a howitzer and the rest are HE. Because they separate by ammo type. So they're not used to smoke. So they're just constantly walking across these fields and getting shot. So this Cobra's in a better spot, because it's out of range of the enemy AA, and they're not moving up their AA. Oh, okay, it's just getting dove by a Mulder. Ooh, Jaguar AT goes down as well. LGBT coming in for the kill. It's got really good short-range missiles. It's fired them both. Okay, well now it's not a good idea. He's going for the tank. It won't kill it, and he's not evac, so he's probably going to eat a bunch of AA here. Gets quite lucky. Gets quite lucky there. And more rocket arty. But yeah, the red attacks, they haven't used smoke. They haven't used smoke. And they're trying to attack in multiple places. So they've got all this concentration of forces here. Like, don't get me wrong, you need to defend here. Because the blue player is trying to take it. chesK is trying to take it, but when they're attacking here, oh, goes down to a Brennus because it was just fighting on 1 HP. Goes down to something weird. Would love to see blue get some ATGMs in these buildings. That'd be really useful. So, you know, red, the fob's empty. The fob's empty. So what they're going to do now? And this is what we spoke about. With the 4 rocket artilleries, it has really helped them, but now no fob. So they probably should have brought 2 fobs if they were going to run this much artillery. Because they're halfway through the game, they got no fob anymore. So that's a decent kill, I guess, but he's going to die, so it really isn't. Never mind. The thing is, this can still fire its missiles with its gun turned off and not be sneeded. So the red attack here is making headway, but I really do feel that this was a waste of time. And they should have just had a couple smoke mortars, or this thing that they bought and just didn't really use very much. Smoke there. Walk in. Because what are they going to do? Like, there's no ATGMs here. They're trying to buy a Sheridan up there, but there's nothing there. You got this, so you sort of know. And yeah, but they just keep running across the open field, and because of their grads, all the buildings are gone apart from this one. They can't even take the buildings that used to be here because they destroyed them. So it's interesting, and kind of similar story here. Most of the buildings are still here at least, but yeah, they're pushing in 2 places, and as such, they're achieving nothing. Whereas I feel that if they'd focused their rocket, well, 3 places, because they did try here, and it probably was a good idea to do that, because they drew a lot of aggro. But yeah, there's no buildings at all here now, so the only cover you're going to get is the cover you create for yourself using the smoke function on your mortar. But this is unknown technology to Steel Division 2 players. Wow, what? Okay. Sneeds out again. That was 4 siege missiles on 1 Tunguska. Okay. So I don't think he realised that they'd already used all their missiles. One does get out. And yeah, see, look, now they've destroyed even more buildings. So they've made it so this is just an absolute wasteland. I don't know. Like, it's so dark that you can't see the craters. Because they've set it to a dark ambience. So you can see it a bit more there, that all the buildings are gone. All the buildings are gone. Turn up your phone brightness in it. And so they gotta smoke it up. There's no other way. They don't have any cover because they destroyed it all. But there's no smoke. There's no smoke. And they're out of... Wow, okay, so it was actually 6 rocket arty on 1 fob. That wasn't a good idea. Although I think they just bought the last 2 when they realised the fob was empty. But yeah, they should have had 2 fobs there. Definitely, definitely. Particularly if you bring in 3 cards of rocket arty, you need 2 fobs. So, you know, red, they could walk straight in here if they had the technology but alas, no smoke mortars. Like, drop a card of RM70s and get some smoke mortars, and just smoke this, and just put the tank there. You don't even have to, you know, smoke and... Right, these seed plays are getting a bit silly now. They're just sort of flying them over 10 million AA, and they got a bit lucky last time where one F-16 got out, but this time not so much. So, yeah, Blue still trying to attack, which is pretty commendable given what's happening here. I wouldn't be attacking at this point. I'd be clinging on for dear life. And Red might get in here now, although, well, yeah, the Tunguska's going to clean up that hot too. It's got very decent healer range, 3,000 meters on a not radar Saklos. Whereas the track rapier is 2825, but I'm not a nationalist anymore, so I don't care. And Red's probably, actually, in the end, just going to get in here, where they don't need the smoke because there's just no blue units. Have they even noticed? Like, where's the reaction? They've got a howitzer here, which they really should have had a couple more tubes, I think. I think they should have had 2 howitzers going the whole game. This guy needs to unload so he can help. Here we go. Right, so now he's using the smoke on the vehicle to drive in. This Sheridan needs to get back here to counter that, because the smoke fades after 20 seconds. But imagine if you had a mortar that could constantly make smoke. Imagine that. And then the enemy would have to, like, shoot the mortar or something. So LGBTs are trying to drop on that position, but he didn't do it properly. Or he aimed for the wrong thing. And the smoke fades, and now it's going to die. I mean, it's very frustrating to watch. Why not smoke mortar? But looks like Red's going to get in here anyway. Like, if he just smoke mortared that, he would have been completely fine. They would have had to run infantry in to kill it with AT-4s. Oh, here we go. Oh, he's noticed. So he just dropped 1 smoke shell there. After his tank died, he dropped a smoke shell there. I mean, he's got this. He could just constantly smoke that and have this one go in. Got to do a bit of team coordination there, though. Over here, Red's taken this zone because Blue just didn't defend it. I don't understand that at all. Like, they're still not reacting to it. The Apache that could have been sent over here was sent to here and died. So that's just... Blue's just running out of steam. And I feel like they're just... Like, chesK is just over here playing his 1v1. Or 1v1.5. He's donating planes to the fight. So the Tunguska... Oh, it has been spotted. So that's probably going to go down. But the Strela, I don't know. Strela might get a kill. No, okay. Sheridan went down here to... Who knows? But yeah, like, Red have a much better handle on this. Blue needs units here. And it needs units... There's no buildings left here. But getting one to here would be good. Whereas Red, they've played it a bit wider. You know, they've got... They can see on this corner. They can see on this corner. And so Red have managed it. They did it the hard way. But they managed it. So I think Red on a +8, like, Blue just seems completely spent. chesK has just been smacking his head against this wall the whole game. The point of 5e is that they've got really good mobility, so you can rotate your troops quite fast. Like, 5e could have attacked here. Or at least defended here, but instead you've got the tank division penned in the corner, where the airborne division is forced to cover this side of the map. And this leads to situations exactly like the one you've just seen. If 5 was on this side, as we said at the start, we called this out, and I haven't watched the games beforehand. So you should just trust me, and you know, give me all your money, etc. I can't remember if I thanked the channel joiners. Oh, chesK, he might get in. He's doing the smoke thing. He's probably not going to. I don't see this working. But yeah, so 5e gets a lot of vehicle tows, vehicle hots. The Mephisto, which is not what I like. I like the tracked one. It's got a bit more armor, a bit more survivable, and it's got smoke. But the Mephisto is faster. That's a lot of napalm. Seem to want to be driving into there. And if the 5e player was on this side, there could just be ATGMs in every single bush, and it would have been very, very difficult for red to attack. But instead, they put the airborne player on this side in the open, and he did have ATGMs in the form of infantry ATGMs, and they all died. You could still do it with Humvee Tow 2, but I didn't see any of those. So it's these little mistakes that all add up, basically. And like I said, you know, it's easy. Like, so red haven't managed to secure this because well, they'd have to get their infantry to these buildings to secure it, because they've taken out all of... Well, there's one building there. There's one building there left. But they're winning. I mean, they're on a +6. It'll be +4 in a second, but I think it's accomplished. And yeah, just don't understand the decision to not... Like, so that's good counter battery. That makes sense. The decision to not smoke mortar this, but in the end it didn't matter, because blue, I just don't understand it from blue. They've made no attempt to defend this. They did at the start, and then things kept getting worse for them over here, and they just kept... Like, chesK just kept sending units over here. They just completely ignored this. Like, they're both +2s. Defending's easier than attacking. That's probably a side shot. Yeah, that was really... Why did he do that? He knew it was there. All he had to do was wait a minute. but he's panicking, right? He's panicking. So, yeah, if he just waited a minute, this guy would be dead. But he's panicking a bit. And I think it's very, very over for blue. I think it's very over for blue. So... we're going to speed it up a little bit, and yeah, it looks like they're going to surrender soon. So do please let me know what you think. This was a pretty high-level game. We saw lots of good strats. But yeah, to recap, red needs to learn about smoke mortars. Blue needs to put their open ground division on the open ground. And just like a lack of synergy between the players. And once again, like, so this thing has fired 12 rounds the whole game. Could have been hitting units. But yeah, I think Pack probably does have the advantage on this map. If you can survive the start where blue just gets so many airborne divisions. What's he doing? So yeah, it's just total collapse now, +8 again. But once again, like I said, it's easier for me to say these things than it is for them to do it. And you see that in the games that me and T-Man play. Our individual skill is decent. I'm, of course, the best Warno player in the world. And he's like second or something. Or third after my brother. My younger brother. But yeah, it's difficult to coordinate with your teammate and have a concerted plan. Particularly if you're like 1v1 players. Exclusively 1v1 players generally don't have many friends. So yeah, this is Yamin changing his name. He's had one ranked game. But basically this guy's had like 10 million Steel Division 2 players. He's one of the best Steel Division 2 players. Make Arty not friends. Quite a few more ranked games. But you see that their skill in this game is actually really quite low. But their teamwork was a lot better than these two. Sadly, chesK comes up with me, but chesK is pretty similar to me. And Artakwa rank 148th, right? So sadly we can't view chesK stats, but, you know, this is rank 148, this is 400, this is 900. So these guys have better individual skill, and these guys play better as a team. Their strat was better, they executed it well, and you saw that they were both everywhere. But they had like a general idea of, okay, the tank div goes in the open and the infantry div goes on the closed side. Whereas these guys, they put it the wrong way around, and they didn't help out each other. Like, so when Artakwa got into that zone at the start, chesK just kept hitting the other zone. He wasn't interested in helping his friend just keep that +2 for as long as possible. I think if chesK had defended on the left and put his units on the right to help out Artakwa, got some arty up, then I think they would have held on to that +2 for a lot longer, and they might have won. They might have won. But it's impossible to know, right? And in the end, the blue reliance on air just got shut down. But yeah, red definitely needed to bring 2 FOBs if they're going to bring 3 cards of rocket arty. But yeah, the arty was good, but it needs to be so when you attack, you need to attack with the smoke. If there's no buildings to hide behind or in, and you've just turned the zone into a flat plain, then yeah, you definitely need the smoke. And we saw him fire one smoke shell in the whole game, so we know he can do it. Anyways, please do let me know what you think, and I'll see you around. And I'm not bald.